Donna really helped us make sure that we got our work done. What we're going to do is, because we're fully collaborative and we believe in collaboration, I'm just going to set the stage, and then we're going to go with the additions that people provided for the insights. So what you're looking at here is an overview of a taxonomy that's designed to provide a shared language so that we can make order out of all of this vast sort of realm of information that deals with activities going on, key stakeholders who are responsible for the activities, funding sources. In other words, it's a very rich ecosystem. And just as in biology, you need to have a standard taxonomy so we can all communicate. So this taxonomy is called Action Intelligence. And actually, do you want to speak to the
Sure.
taxonomy?
David Baker here. So I'm kind of the spokesman person here for the Jerry. This is Jerry. She provided the overview for this, and I'm probably not going to do it as justice for as she brought it up. But I think the important thing here, and the key takeaway I think for you, is that we think having a framework to approach this problem, because it's such a complex problem, is really the way to go. And this thing is called the ACT framework, and what it really looks at is it tries to kind of break things down from an actor, actions, artifact level, and it also breaks down the actors into macro, mid, and micro levels. And I think the way we kind of approach this is, how could VMI add value into the marketplace? And so we say, how can we facilitate a marketplace that would foster collaboration, that would foster information sharing, and maybe a shared lessons learned. So kind of this repository of information. And when we looked at the indicators on the Excel spreadsheet, what we thought is that probably you could get all of those, all that information from existing data sources. And we suspected that probably at a very aggregate macro level. But these 40,000 NGOs that are out there, that's probably information we're not maybe capturing. You know, that's something to be seen. So doing this in that macro, mid, and micro will help you kind of figure out where are the gaps and where you need to approach this problem set from. And so what we suspect is that there probably are gaps at the micro level, and this is something that maybe the data visualizers or people who already worked on this can confirm today, but then I'll let you go as far as kind of how we actually went about this.
So what we try to do is look at all the data sources that are available, like that were given in the Excel file, and all the data that was being sought, like the information. So we thought that there are different, according to the framework, there are different dimensions by which we should tag the sources and the information required. Because you have actors, like this data is about veterans, so the veterans will be an actor. This data is about certain health properties, so there might be different actors relating to the same data source. Similarly, for a certain action, for a certain indicator, you might have different actors and you might have different actions associated with that indicator.
Yeah, so talk through the viz, and because everybody's on their own computer, just mention the section, you know, so there's like the top left section with the 3x5, there's and it's in blue.
Comment that says...
So you're in the spreadsheet.
Yes, in the
Refer to
spreadsheet.
spreadsheet, that's in the comments section, not the photo, that's...
Oh, so you're on
Should
the
I speak?
spreadsheet, not the photo.
Well, go ahead. The photo is the framework.
Okay.
So the photo, what you're seeing on the photo on the far left, it has a series of analytic lenses that we were using to organize the data. And for us, the data was the list of the data sheets. Okay, we view the data, your data sheets, as our data. We needed to make sense out of what you have and what you also are looking for. So this framework, this photograph, is the framework by which we organize all of the currently existing data sets. And in order to capture what we were organizing, we created a spreadsheet. Now the spreadsheet is located where?
Your presentation.
So if you go to the comments section, you'll see, and you can open it up, and it will be a spreadsheet that will have on the left-hand side an example of veteran data owners, and those are sources of data. And then the columns, we began to apply the code or the tags in order to make sense out of the level of the actor, the institution creating the data, and the focus of the, is it at an upper aggregate level, or is it, does it go down to the individual level? Okay, so this is basically coding your data sources, okay, and that's what you were, and he can explain how we did that.
So for each of the sources, we're trying to collect we're tagging it with who is collecting this information. So the actor is data collector, and when they're collecting it, are they collecting at a macro level, a mid level, or micro level? At the same time, we are also looking at the data, whether the data is a micro data, or a macro data, or a deep data. And we weren't able to fill it up, but we wanted to also identify the different domains of data that were available from the system, and different actors that would be associated with each of these data sources. So this is the data sources tab. If you go to the data requirement tab, we tried to, there were lots of data requirements, I think about 140. We should focus on the other ones, the additional data layer and the other data points, because those weren't categorized yet. So we took those and we tried to put in domains for each one of them. So for example, the percent of vets with employer-based insurance, we thought that from a 3x domain point of view, it would be an economic indicator. For the VA medical spending region, it would be an economic indicator, but at the same time, in the secondary domain, we could say that this is a health indicator. How this would help is when all of the indicators can be categorized like this, it's easier to match these up with the data consumers. So you know that if a data consumer is a veteran, they might need information about health, so you can then easily drill down and then pull up that data for them.
And then to take this and to actually visualize it, you have an idea?
Yeah, so one way we thought to actually kind of visualize this exercise that we completed in terms of kind of mapping, okay, we have all these different indicators across economics, health, all these different indicators, and then also saying, okay, in terms of identifying the blind spots that you have in terms of where you're missing data, where you do have like perhaps an excess of data, it's kind of making a matrix heat map and showing, okay, we have a lot of macro level data on health, but perhaps not enough micro level data on health. So creating this matrix heat map to show where the blind spots kind of are and help address the overall question that you've been asking. Then we also had, kind of another recommendation in terms of what the actual end product might be for solving this bigger problem.
Okay, so I guess to sum it all up, obviously we have a lot of data, and as we know, 90% of your effort goes into data cleaning. So our recommendation at the end of the day is hopefully with all of that data coming in from like the Census Bureau, the Department of Veteran Affairs, and what have you, we're trying to build this data-driven, interactive, self-service platform. So the user of this platform is basically going to be the little NGOs located in any of the 50 states. They come onto the platform, you see a map of the United States, you say, okay, all right, I'm located in, I don't know, Wounded Warriors in Arlington, Virginia. And I'm looking for, say, data on funding or partners in funding. And I double click, and the map is able to show me like who in my local area I potentially can collaborate with. And if I am looking for example, a particular metric, I'm able to go into this data set and say, okay, I'm interested in percent of veterans that have health insurance. And the data set is able to give me a cutout of the piece of data that I'm interested in. So basically, the data platform would enable each of the NGOs to go onto it and identify their own blind spots, and the NBI would also be able to go in and do the same exercise and identify blind spots on a slightly more macro level.
Do you need a whiteboard at all in order, or is?
Oh, we don't. That's just
Okay.
sort of the idea. We don't actually have a visualization of it.
Okay.
But I guess from a technical perspective, you can think of realizing it in I think DB was one of the ones mentioned, or you can use CartoDB, or you can use RShiny.
D3.
D3, yes, a thing that I have not used and I get paid on.
Wonderful. Any questions for them?
This is exciting. Question: when you say that the platform would be useful for the NGOs, was that specific, or do you mean any user? Because we were looking at like the community level. You mean anybody who is So would there be like a user-based identity access kind of management piece of it? Yeah, or is this designed specifically for NG or for
I think it's not
nonprofits?
specifically for the NGOs, it's more for like any user of that platform.
Okay.
So we noticed in the data that you gave us, you had a list of all the different metrics that you're interested in. So we're sort of envisioning that this platform would be able, it's kind of a one-stop shop for people who are looking for data relating to veterans. Because whether you're an NGO, so if you're an NGO, it's unlikely that you will have a dedicated data analyst who is able to go to the Census Bureau and to the Department of Veteran Affairs to like all these other data sources and pull out that data for you. But hopefully, if NBI has that, already has that effort where you're pulling in data from all those various sources, and people only need to go to that platform, enter in their search criteria, which could be as simple as just just a couple of metrics, and the platform can give you sort of a visualization, say of historical trends or how you compare to surrounding areas. So it could be NGOs, it could just be any academics, anyone who's interested in that kind of data.
What's the test on the comprehensiveness? How do we know that we have everything that we need? I don't know if you had a chance to think through that piece. That may be something we can also talk about later, but yeah.
I was just going to mention something. I think one of the users could be, you said there was like 100 cities that are the pilot cities or
Yep.
the main consortiums and whatnot. I think if you use those as maybe potential, they're the power users, if you will. And if they're representing other veteran services coming through at the grassroots level, it can be a very powerful tool because if you could compare across cities and say, hey, veteran wait time in city X is 30 minutes, but in city Y it's only 5 minutes. That's the question. You can have those discussions, and why is it that? Is it because of funding? Is it because of geography, structural issues, whatnot? And then I think the other powerful thing is these NGOs, these 40,000 NGOs, are they actually contributing data? And my guess is that a lot of them aren't. And so having a platform like this could create an incentive for them to give data because they can benefit from it too. And that's how you create that incentive. Then you get more granular data, it becomes more useful, more insightful, and I think that could possibly be a model there.
And that does kind of address the comprehensiveness piece,
Yeah, it's also, this is why the taxonomy is important in the shared language. This is designed to actually be a user, depending on the level of user, but a user created platform. So that by using the shared language in the code, it also allows for reliability, which is how do you know if you reach the edges of the domain. And that's what, in my business, we call that a triangulation issue. So that if the platform is standing in any location, people can go in and say, ooh, am I there? Because they want to see themselves. And if not, then add it. It's very simple. The coding strategy allows people to see where they're placed. So both it becomes a repository as well as an interactive platform that can continue to grow. But the important part is that it is dominated by a very clear standard, which allows the information to be compared.
It's almost like a Wikipedia of veteran information. Done right.
It's pretty cool. Art? Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I think I do a lot of TA with localities, and a lot of them really aren't very data savvy. So did you think about, when providing this data, about providing some guidance on the data integrity, the quality of the data, the comparability of the data, so you don't encourage people to say, compare old census data with current,
Right. Well, the two elements that are really critical is that everything is both date and geolocated, so that you can do time analysis, you can see changes over time, and you can begin to do comparative sort of analysis. But your question about the sort of the guts of the data set, we actually didn't get there, and that I think is another question that once a platform is established, then you go back and make sure there's a shared taxonomy for your indicators, so that there is going to be comparability. But right now, it's with that platform, then yeah.
And I guess to your point, if the platform is built, then we could have like use cases or guidelines or attempt to do's and not to do's about how to use the data, and that could potentially help people along. Because I guess the platform at the end of the day is meant to be the start of the conversation, not the end of the conversation. So and I guess each NGO at the end of the day will find out what's the best way for them to use the data.
But it also gets to another point. Part of the problem right now is that everybody has been trying to fill a gap, so it's very ad hoc. by having a beginning of a sort of standardization process and going through, it might be startup might take a while, but actually looking at every single indicator, because there's tremendous replication of the data being collected per indicator. So at least you begin that process, and within, let's say, 2 years, can you reach that limit?
Great.
Awesome, thank you.
Give them a round of applause. Who is group 2? Raise your hand.